everyone. I hope y'all are having a good evening. I'm Elizabeth. You can call me Beth if we ever run into each other. But for this assignment, I wrote my paper on BRICS, which, for those who don't know, is an acronym for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and recently South Africa. And my paper is about the history, the background, objective, and the challenges they faced and what they had to go through to be where they are today. And for those who don't know what BRIC is, it's an emerging market. And emerging markets are when a nation's economy takes a step forward in a more advanced means for a rapid growth or industrialization. And this is one of the largest emerging markets. I mean, if you Google them, you'll find websites saying that there are tens and 20 emerging markets out there, but this is one of the greater ones because of China and Russia. They are one of the top world's um economic countries. I mean, you have China who holds a good chunk of the population in their country alone. I mean, they stand for trillions of dollars just them alone. So having them being part of this emerge market was great on whoever decided to plan this. And they've been around for, well, the name BRICS has been around for roughly almost 20 years. And it came upon when BRICS Summit was held in New York, and a guy with a news article, Jim O'Neill, wrote about it and called them BRICS. And thus the name stuck. Well, with just to hit some of the main points with the history of it, BRICS has been around, the acronym has been around since 2001 because of Jim O'Neill in a publication called Better Global Economics. And they plan on, I mean, not only did Jim O'Neill write about this, but other articles and researchers have come to the conclusion about the purpose of this the purpose of this group was because by 2030 or 2050 they want to end poverty, at least eliminate it down to nothing. I mean, if there is just a couple percentage, okay, I mean, it's still not great, but I mean, that's better than where it is right now. And South Africa, couple articles are not for sure why they were able to join in, because compared to China, Russia, and India, they are not that great economically, with their currencies and poverty and unemployment rate. I mean, it is just through the roof terrible. But that's one of the reasons I think they did join, because South Africa only has 55 million people in it, and about 40% of that population is living in poverty. I mean, they live on about $3 a day. That is one of the reasons for joining BRICS. If they can join three great countries who stand fairly well off economically with their currencies and low unemployment rates and low poverty rates, South Africa can benefit from these guys. They are willing to, China and Russia are willing to come together and help out South Africa. Actually, there has been new details. I mean, the past couple years, it is set right now. Not a whole lot of details have been coming out about it, but there is a bank, a new development bank it is called, that is set up in Russia. And it is about a start of ending unemployment and poverty by the 2030 or 2050 year. And they are, all the countries, and South Africa is going to try its best to put its part in, but mostly Russia, India, and China, and a good chunk of it, China, is putting $100 billion into this bank, and they are hoping for it to grow and help, and like they're even continuing on using it now. I believe Russia wants to start right away with it, and China has other ways of helping the countries by through trade, doing this free trade agreement. Right at the moment, they're trying to get it passed through the other BRICS, and it's not working out too well, but they're working on it. So, I mean, that's just a little history behind it right now. They came together for the purpose to end all this. And I mean, it's a huge emerging market with strong economic backgrounds of multiple countries. And maybe in the next few years, there's a possibility of adding on more countries. An article did point out that Turkey might join in, and Italy maybe, and Iraq, but then again, that is all up in the air. So far, it has just been these 5 countries. So, a little bit about this, the objectives for each country. I mean, each country has their own objective, but why being part of BRIC is so important. So each year there are summits. Summits like a meeting or a conference, and the first one was held in 2001 in China, I believe. Um, I'm correcting myself, in the U.S. That was the very first summit. That's where they decided to go with the acronym BRIC. And what they did at the summit was sign in South Africa. So you sit there at these meetings and you get a gist of ideas of like comparing mutual interest economically and going through the growth rates and trying to figure out what they can do for each other to make the countries better. They want to at one point in the future, they want to become one market, like one economic market. I mean, they sort of are that way right now, but they're still separate, and they want to become the largest one in the country. I mean, in the world. So right now, U.S. is ahead of China. Barely at this moment. Maybe some changes will happen over the next few years, but at the moment, U.S. is just in front of China. So Russia is helping China, while China is helping India, and then India and Russia are both helping South Africa, and so forth. So now, by 2030 or 2050, anywhere in between, they are hoping to become one whole economic market and be ahead of the US. I mean, even if they don't get ahead of the US, they still, China will still possibly, with the help of these other countries, become the largest in the world. Economically, that is. Um, so the main purpose for was one of them was to develop this bank. Recently, that was their main purpose. They're right now just trying to figure out how to make this bank better and how to make it more known to other countries so they can help each other out with the unemployment rates and the poverty rates. Each country has their own goals, not only to help unemployment rates and poverty rates decrease, because in the Middle East, if some of you are not clear, poverty is very, very high, and in some regions, especially in the South Africa and the African area, as long as with like the Iraq and Israel. I mean, poverty is terrible over there. So that's one of the main purposes from not only one country but all these countries. And China and Russia, they both have the hand where they can prevent all poverty once they take a couple steps forward. long as there's no steps back, they have a good chance of changing things for the best. And that's just one of the challenges they face throughout these years. But like the biggest one is coming back from their own issues and trying not to put that onto others around them. I mean, they okay, so like Latin America countries, which would be in the India area, stated by one article, they had 3% of the contract for the economy, and the unemployment inflation was 10%. I mean, that's not too bad. I mean, it's still up there, but 10% is better than 20% or 40% like South Africa. So, like, Brazil had some news about this where they were telling them the economic um is they want to hold on for good terms for them, but so far their people have been depending on oil and minerals and soy and any other commodities, anything that will help their country get more money or just help them some way or another get out of the debt that they are in. And the way I was getting it, Brazil isn't looking too good with the prices so extremely high. But as the years have gone down, years have come, the prices have dropped, and Brazil has been able to boost business in the IT department and pharmaceutical industries to help out with the farming districts, which will help with um, getting those minerals and crops and agriculture. Agriculture is huge. I mean, it's huge for us in the U.S., but it's even bigger for them in the Middle East, in the South, in Brazil area, and all that, because that is their true moneymaker to help with lowering these. I mean, they're at 10% right now for inflation and unemployment, and just by farming, that lowers it even more because a good chunk of these people are farmers or they live on some type of farming area. With Russia and India, I mean, each of these countries does have their own problems, but they don't struggle as much as South Africa would, or like Brazil and the Latin America countries. India has about $2.338 trillion, and they grow roughly 7.5% each year. So I mean, they're setting pretty good. In China, they're up there with $11.4 trillion, and they've been they're really good economically because it took them 25 years to get up there. So I mean, they slowly climbed up that way, but in a way, I don't find it that terrible because they progress, and that way they don't hit a peak and then, well, you're stuck or you start declining. So they did pretty good. They're smart business wise. I give them that. South Africa, like I've been saying, is the worst out of the five. They have, and according to an article I read in CNBC, in 2015, their economy was about $327 billion with an unemployment at 23%. So, with a population of 55 billion people, that's not really good. But fortunately, they do have minerals that is valuable to other countries. So over the years, China is going to help them work on exposing those minerals even more to more countries and ship them out more. And hopefully the export rates and the imports and everything, that will help bring down rates unemployment rates and be able to make the country see a bright side. These people deserve to have some type of good when you have those kind of rates coming at you. All in all, these 5 countries, they help each other out. I was very impressed. I've never heard much about BRICS, so I was impressed to hear that they literally have each other's back. Some of them aren't happy about South Africa joining them because of the poor rates, but they made it work and they are not shunning anybody out or away in any type of form. So hopefully over the next 50 years or so, or even before then, like 20, 30 years, they are able to grow where they want to go, drop rates, improve economically. I am obviously a U.S. citizen, so I hope they don't become first, but that is their goal in becoming the best economic country. Hopefully, the next few years, us Americans won't let that happen. But yeah. BRICS has a great purpose and objectives, no matter what challenges they come across. So I'm looking forward to reading more and understanding more of what this emerge market has to offer. I hope you guys have a great rest of the semester for those graduating in May. Congratulations. To those not, good luck next semester, and I'll talk to y'all later.